How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and today we're going to be talking about CCIV. So we had some big news that just went down in the evening. I also want to put in the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. So when you do invest, just know that you're doing it at your own risk. They said the latest we're going to find out was Tuesday, but they decided to give us an update today. So like I do in all my other videos, we're going to be doing a technical analysis, and we're going to be going over the news as well, because there's been some serious changes in regards to the stock price. Let's get into it. All right, so we're going to be getting into the technical analysis for CCIV. Overall, it was up 8.37% on the day, which is not too bad. But what we have in front of us is the 5-day, 5-minute. And as many of you know, if you don't know already what happened in after hours today, yes, it's literally down to $40 on the nose. But anyways, when we look at where it was, so back over here on February the 16th, it was trading at $36.52. That was the low where it was on February the 16th, right? And as you can see over here today, at the end of after hours, it's at $40. So it's actually not too far off from where it was a week ago, technically, right? So why I wanted to show you guys this are support areas and potential ways of how you could play this tomorrow, and as well as price predictions, all right? So as we can see here from the 5-day, 5-minute, we got to look at where can we find support areas, right? So right away, when we look at the chart right here, hey, we have some areas of support that are here, all right? So this is the area of around $50. $50. And then what's the next support area? As we move up here, we can see somewhere around 53, right? Now let's go further up. We see another area around 57, right? And then as we go up even further, we see that there's some support here around 61. And this is using the 5-day, 5-minute chart. So these particular areas, right now, we don't really have to look at them, but we also got to take them into consideration in case the stock decides to run up tomorrow. All right. Am I saying that it will run back up to above $64? No. But if it does happen, it's certain areas and certain support areas that you need to be aware of, all right? So now let's get into the 1-day, 1-minute. As we spread this chart out, take a look here. Let me just get some more space there. All right, there we go. So this is looking at today, right? February the 22nd. So as you could see, we had a gap up because there was a big sell-off that happened on Friday, right? So we were at 55 ending that day, right? It was around 54. And then we ended up gapping up today around 61. Of course, there was the news that came out saying that, hey, we should have a decision by Tuesday. So again, that caused a lot of excitement. But as you can see here, things were down because, again, the market was not the greatest at all, right? But at the same time, still kept a pretty reasonable level, as we could see around that $58 range, right? And then it started moving up, and it started going up and up, like, because this is going into market open, right? Again, the news, the catalyst, and so forth. But now, let's kind of bring the chart out a little bit. And look at this. So we hit that high of 63. And then it goes down, and we get to this level around 951 at around $59.67. And we literally see this as what? As an area of support, right? We see that here, the 60 area, and also the 59.58 area, right? So $58 to $60. So as the day goes on further and stuff like that, like I said, this is the type of stock a lot of traders are in. So you're going to see a lot of up and down volatility. We see we got that area right here, right? Moving up into that 61, right? So still in those low 60s, we see we have some support. As the day progresses, again, the market is not doing the greatest. We see here right around 245, we get down to $57, all right? Now what I want to show you guys very quickly here, and how history repeats itself. This is an area that I was actually familiar with, right? Look at that. Last week, we could see this was a support area. So it literally reclaimed that area of support, right? So that's just to show you guys quickly how it's great looking at charts and how they can show you your entry and your exit points, right? So we see this here. We did the comparisons, right? And also we got to look at after 245, this became a support area because when it revisited that 56, it did it again and then it moved back up. So now here's where it gets interesting. So this is going into the after hours now. We trade sideways the entire time, right here at $58. And part of the reasons being is, and we also ended up hitting a high of $62.99. So here's the thing. Part of the reasons why it traded sideways and then moved up a little bit, because there was a lot of expectations in regards to like, hey, the news is coming out on Tuesday. So no one was going to sell or no one had any reasons to sell whatsoever, right? But then the news ended up coming out today with all of the details in it, which I'm going to be going over with you guys after this technical analysis video. And as you can see here, it got dumped. Dumped. So first point, it gets to this area here at 46. And as you can see, we've seen this area being touched, right? It did get down below it, but I'm dead sure and positive this is when the reactions in regards to stop losses, right? People who probably bought in very high at 60. People who are looking at this and seeing it drop all the way down caused such a reaction to the point where it got down to here to $42. We had a good recovery though, and it moved up to here to 49. Consolidated downwards, and then it dropped again. Again, if we look at these areas of where it's going down, again, this are one of these situations and it's the risk of having a stop loss. Because when they get triggered, it takes you completely out the trade, you sell your shares, and if that's going on a high scale, you're going to have a sell-off. So everybody's selling off till we get to a low of $38 down here, which is just, just crazy how much like the stock has gone down, right? So we see a little bit of movement back up, goes to 41, 42. And these are just people seeing it at this price and they're, hey, you know what? I'm buying into this right now. Like, oh, this is a stock that was literally at $62, the $60 range. And now it's down to 38. So people started buying it up. And it's part of the reasons why the price started moving upwards. We can also see, considering this is pre-market, look how much volume we had. Look at this. That's a good amount of volume for after hours. This is good amount of volume, and it's something that we need to pay attention to, especially for tomorrow. So like as you can see here, we did close at $40. So for tomorrow, what I'm looking for, it would be nice for a move up to the 42 and then start reclaiming. Am I saying it's going to reclaim itself back to 60? We don't know, but I would definitely like to see it getting back into the mid 40s. But the other scenario is this. We already know from the 5-day, 5-minute, we got some support here at 36. Let me extend out the chart even further. So we got a little bit of support here at 38, 36 area, right? And then we have another support area around 34, and then another area of support, as you can see, and it's fairly consistent at $30. So here's my take on this. If you have the ability, if you see it get down to $30, it's good to start building your position. If you haven't built your position already, or if you want to add or you want to average down, $30 is a good area. Because look at this. In this whole area, which is 30, it has a lot of support there. Is there a possibility where it can go back down to the 20 area? Most definitely. If you see it in that area, that's a good area, right? So again, it's going to be very interesting to see how tomorrow turns out, to be honest with you guys. But hey, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it and seeing where I can add, and especially I'm going to be adding on those dips as well, all right? Let's get into the news. What was recently updated, this is from Cision PR Newswire, all right? So Lucid Motors to go public in merger with Churchill Capital Corp IV, bolstering Lucid's vision to redefine luxury, performance, and efficiency in the sustainable electric vehicle market. Lucid's mission is to inspire the adoption of sustainable transportation by creating the most captivating luxury electric vehicles centered around the human experience. Transaction provides additional growth capital as Lucid brings the over 500-mile range Lucid Air luxury electric sedan to market and expands rapidly to offer a broad range of electric vehicles products powered by Lucid proprietary electric powertrain technology. CCIV and Lucid are combining at a transaction equity of $11.75 billion. The transaction includes an approximately $2.1 billion cash contribution by CCIV and $2.5 billion fully committed PIPE with an investor lockup provision that binds holders well beyond closing. The PIPE is priced at $15 per share, a 50% premium to CCIV's net asset value with an implied pro forma equity value of $24 billion. So what I think really concerned a lot of people was when they saw this. The PIPE is priced at $15 per share. Because they see this and they're like, oh, it's $15 per share. That's what it's actually worth. And then you have the sell-offs. That's number one. And then number two, this is a perfect situation of buying the rumor and also selling the news. The same thing happened to Helion when it was under the ticker symbol SHLL, and it was literally almost reached a high. I think it was around like $50 or something, and then long story short, ended up coming down to when the ticker changed to where it was trading around like 20, and you've seen it in the sub 20s and so forth. So this looks like the exact same type of a situation. I also wanted to share this article with you guys. Lucid Motors finally confirmed SPAC deal and the stock is plunging. So as you can see, this was just released at 7:55 p.m. And here's what it says. Electric car company going public with record investment from other entities at $15 a share, like I pointed out on the last article that we just read. But the SPAC stock closed at nearly 60 after massive run-up on rumor of an impending deal. But let's check out this last paragraph here. Investors in the PIPE agreed not to sell their shares until September 1st or the shares are registered, whichever is later. Existing investors will face a 6-month lockup on their shares. Churchill's sponsor has agreed not to sell their shares for 18 months after the transaction closes. So that's another thing that we need to keep into consideration as well. So for my final thoughts on CCIV, I do believe that this is a great company. They have some great technology, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the EV sector. If you're a long-term investor, none of this stuff should be bothering you, especially if your plan is to be holding it 5 to 10 years from now, because it's going to be worth a lot more than what it is. So anyone who might be in your short term, or maybe you were swing trading it, I'm just hoping that you had your stop losses and your trailing stops in place, because for you, I know time is of the essence. For myself, I'm going to repeat it again. I'm definitely going to be looking for some dips tomorrow in those key areas that I explained in the technical analysis portion. So hey, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll be talking to you soon. Peace.